Hi, I'm Kate Lehman, and this is my verbal verbal reflection about the spelling lesson I taught this morning. Today I taught my kids a game called Splingo, and it's spelling bingo. Basically, how the activity went was I would say a number and then a spelling word for the week, and they would write down the number and then write down the word and then cross the number off on their bingo sheet. And I explained that all before I started recording, and they listened really well. I actually chose this game because I thought that I would need to demonstrate a lot of classroom management techniques, but my class ended up doing really, really well with it, a lot better than I thought they would. I had a couple of things in place in case they didn't. I have one little boy that sits up front, and every time he has really bad at being off task. So every time I have to remind him to get back on task or to focus, he has a cup of gummy worm type things, and I just pull one out, and he doesn't get it. And usually that brings him right back. Another thing we do in the classroom that really helps is anytime someone has to go to the bathroom, they just put their thumb up, and you can wave them to the bathroom. There's one in the back of the classroom, and they can just go. That happened very early on in the video, if you noticed. And so that works really, really well because then we don't have hands up all day. Can I go to the bathroom, please? You can just wave them. They go. They come back. They know to do it quickly, and they can hear because it's in the classroom, so they don't miss out on very much instruction time. I would say my biggest challenge with this lesson was when I had a couple of my high needs kids come back in. I cut that part out of the video because it took like a few minutes, but usually they just come in and then they sit down and do their work, but I didn't have any seat work on their desk for them, so I had to get some while I was teaching, and that is always it's just an interruption that makes the classroom flow not go so well. You might have noticed that one little boy was cutting when one of my little girls was reading off her words. He was sitting there cutting, and he was supposed to be doing that. He doesn't do spelling with us in the mornings. He goes to a resource room and then comes back. And so I should have had better activities for them to do on their desk because I didn't plan for that very well. I also, if you noticed, had one little girl picking her nose almost my whole entire video. That's kind of a huge no-no in our classroom. Usually we just tap them and say, please get a tissue and wash your hands. And I mean, she did it for the whole video, and I didn't even notice she was doing it until I watched the video. So obviously I missed that one completely. In the future, I would change this lesson by having more chips on their desk. I was constantly interrupted, needing more. Miss Lehman, I need more chips. I had at least 2 or 3 people tell me. I don't know if you could hear that on the video or not. I should have had pre-made cups of them, just of bingo chips, to be able to put on desks. And I should have counted a little better. When I started the activity, I just threw some on the desks and kind of went with it. If I could redo that, I would definitely make cups ahead of time and just put a certain number in there and give them, because it also made cleanup at the end kind of a pain. After the lesson was over, we were in a hurry to get to art, so I just told the students to pile up their chips and then pile up the cards, and it kind of took a while for me to get it cleaned up after they left because there was chips everywhere, and it was just kind of a mess. But during the lesson, it worked out decent. I learned a lot from this lesson. I learned that the more detailed your instruction is, the better off you are. When I explained my instruction, I explained it, and then I had another student explain it to the classroom because they've played bingo several times, but they have never played bingo before. So I gave them the detailed instructions, and I said, okay, boys and girls, first, I'm going to give you a word. I need you to write the word and write the number, and then I need you to also mark it on your card. Halfway through my video, I had a little girl yell bingo, but she hadn't followed all the instructions, and I felt really bad not giving her the prize because she did have all of her words spelled right, but she didn't have any of the letters or any of the numbers marked down. And we had repeated the instruction 3 times because that's a big thing in our classroom. It's like 3 before me, and then I repeat 3 times, and I won't repeat again. Things like that, and train your brain 3 times. Our classroom is definitely based on 3s, and so I felt bad not giving her the award, but she didn't follow directions, and so I couldn't justify doing it. That's probably one thing I would have gone back and maybe explained a little bit better, but I think she was the only student that didn't really understand, and so sometimes things like that are just hard to fix. I think that's it. Oh, also, it was tacky day at school today, which is why I was wearing blue pants and a yellow sweatshirt. I'm normally dressed much nicer than that, I promise. Uh, but I didn't feel like I needed to change for the video, so just so you know. Thank you.